Hello. If you could start by introducing yourself.
Right, I'm Michael Rosenblum. Do you want a title?
Yes, please.
Gone with the Wind.
So that was a storming speech that you just gave
thanks.
to the Society of Editors conference. It was really inspiring,
Thank you
evangelical, telling them that they really need to get their act together, basically.
Yes.
How can you sum up your message?
Well, I think the best thing to say is I think newspapers and media organizations, both in Britain and the United States, have a window of opportunity here, and it's a shrinking window. They already have the journalists, they have the infrastructure, they have the clients, they have the brand, everyone knows them. But that's not going to be enough to save them. What they really have to do is they have to wholeheartedly embrace this new technology. And that means letting go of the old, which is a very, very difficult and frightening thing to do. Incrementalism will not help them.
So what has this got to do with whale oil?
New Bedford, I'm glad you got that story. New Bedford, New England was actually the richest city in North America for more than 150 years. It was the center of whaling. And whaling was really not about killing whales, it was really about getting oil. And when oil was discovered in Titusville, Pennsylvania in 1852, the whale business went out of business. And so did the oil men in New Bedford, but they shouldn't have, because they forgot what business they were in. They were really in the oil business, and they should have upped and headed for Ohio and Texas, but they didn't. They thought they were in the whale business. Newspapers today are in the information and journalism business. They're not in the paper business. The biggest weakness in newspaper is the paper part of it, not the news part of it. But we often lose sight of that.
We hear a lot about what newspapers could and should be doing to transform their businesses, but it's very difficult for people who have spent decades in a legacy business that they have to transform. Should they just scrap that business completely and start completely afresh as an online business?
Yes. Here's a great example I'll give you. If you went, you have the World Book or Encyclopedia Britannica, right?
Yes, we do, yeah.
Encyclopedia Britannica. So if you owned Encyclopedia Britannica in 1990, right, and you're in the business of publishing these books, and your business is to accumulate all the knowledge in the world and make it comprehensible. And if I had approached you and said, I have two graduate students at Stanford who have this idea for a logarithm, and they're going to sell it to you for $1 million, which is what the guys from Google tried to sell it to Yahoo, and Yahoo turned them down. And I said, I have these two guys from Stanford, and they have this search engine, and you'll get all the information in the world, and you can own it for $1 million, but it means you have to stop publishing the encyclopedia. Stop with the books, stop the bindings, stop the presses, fire everybody, close it down. Would you do that? Probably not. But imagine if Encyclopedia Britannica or World Book had the prescience to make that leap. That's what newspapers have to do. They have to remember the business they're in. They're in the news and information business, and there's always a market and always an appetite for that. But it doesn't mean publishing and printing and putting it on your desk, putting it on your table in the morning.
There's too much ink up their nose. Maybe it's addictive.
All people, this is a natural human trait to cling to what you know because you're safe. People's risk profiles in general are very. Look at Microsoft, which understood late in the game they had missed the web. And Bill Gates is not a stupid guy. To this day, they still can't really do it, even though they tried and they make this enormous effort. I mean, who's on MSN, really? Seriously. So, I mean, they fucked up because it's very, very hard. So my advice to my clients is don't burn it completely to the ground, but burn 90% of it to the ground and do it fast.
Inspiring stuff. Thank you very much,
Thank
Michael.
you.